Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Ask the Ma'at. My name is Iyana Ma'at, and I am one half of that dynamic duo. That is my husband, not my husband. Y'all caught that? My husband, Ayize, and Iyana Ma'at. Hey, wanted to come to you all really quickly today because I've been noticing for a very long time that there are certain categories of marriage that tend to come up more than others in terms of the topics that I see people focused on, the issues that resonate for people the most, the inquiries we get, the emails we get, right? There's certain areas that always come up. And when I talk to other folks who are in this business of helping folks with their relationships, particularly married relationships and committed relationships, they say the same thing. And one of those areas is a number one hot topic, and that is the topic of infidelity, the issue around infidelity and cheating and betrayal, particularly when you are married. And so I just wanted to drop really quick. I'm trying to move through this because I have some things I need to execute on today. So I'm trying to move through this, and I want to drop this for you right quick because I have been getting quite a few inquiries lately about this issue. And so I want you to know 8 quick things you need to know about infidelity. Okay, 8 quick things you need to know. And I want you to really take this in wherever you are. Just pause a minute and take it in, particularly if this is coming all up and down your street. Okay, so number 1, infidelity is not a marriage deal breaker. It is not a deal breaker. So let's just go ahead and put that out in the atmosphere. It would be great if everyone who ever got married upheld their marriage vows and was faithful until the end. But the truth is, that's just not the truth. That doesn't happen. And so infidelity is not something that automatically off the top, like, oh, you need to be out, deuces, peace, I'm done with you, you did this. Oftentimes folks will say before they're married, you know what, if that happens, I'm done, because that's a deal breaker. And I just want to go ahead and bust that myth. It is not a deal breaker once you find yourself on the other side of it. Not that everyone should find themselves on the other side of it, but if you do, you will soon understand, there's a lot on the line. There's a lot that goes into building a marriage and building a family and building a home and investing your time and energy into another person and into what you all are developing together. And so folks have to, really pause for a second and realize that it's not a deal breaker. Number 2, most affairs end, guys. Most affairs end. So when you find that you're in a situation where your boo has stepped out on you, right? The reality is that doesn't last. It doesn't last 9 times out of 10. 10 times out of 11, and 99 times out of 100, because what is unique about infidelity is that you get to engage with another person in a very plastic way. Plastic is fake, right? It's not real necessarily, because you are engaging with that person in a context that does not include responsibility. It doesn't include attachment outside of just getting together, getting your sex thing on, whispering sweet nothings and talking to each other, and you just get to be with that person in that way. But that's an infatuation period, and eventually that wears off, and you start to engage the person in other ways. It starts to happen where you realize they're a real person, and they got what? Baggage. They got a package that comes with them as well, and then that starts to interrupt or interfere with oftentimes this fairy tale relationship that you are escaping to, and it doesn't stay the same. And so just remember that most affairs end. So don't think that, oh, so he's just out there, she's just out there, it's done. Not necessarily the case, because at the end of the day, you have to deal with reality, and reality always peeks its head up. I'm looking at my little notes here. Number 3, you will feel like you are losing your mind. You will feel like you're losing your mind. It should be expected. And it is normal. So I just want to validate some folks who feel like, whoa, I feel like I am about to lose it, right? There has been some research that has been done that shows, what is that thing I read? That persons who have been betrayed within the context of marriage have symptoms that very much resemble persons who are dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. right? Like PTSD. Like people are straight up overwhelmed with the emotions, and you feel like you're losing your mind. It will happen. It will come. Those feelings will pass, and you will be all right. So I just want to let you know that's normal. That's normal. All right. Number 4, you are not alone. Just remember that you're not alone. You may feel like you're alone. No one else is dealing with this. Most folks don't go around talking about the difficulties and the challenges they have in their marriage. They're just taking them cute pictures and saying, oh, my baby and me, we spending such and such, time over here on this weekend. We going off to this place 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10, 15, 20. But they ain't talking about all of the downs that they've had to navigate. They just want to share the ups. And I want you to know that lots of people experience challenges, significant challenges, life-changing challenges, earth-shattering things like infidelity, and they get through. So you have to remember that you're not alone, and you have to seek out people, places, and things that will help support you through this process as you are navigating your way through what is a very rocky terrain, the terrain of being cheated on, or having someone who you thought was one way, and you find out, oh my God, who are you? You're another person. You have to find support. You are not alone. Number five, you need to count on ups and downs. So I talked about the fact that there's been research done that shows that, folks who have experienced being cheated on, really, they resemble PTSD folks, people who are dealing with PTSD. And so you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to be feeling a little more connected on some days, right? You're going to feel, a little more okay on some days. Like, what, maybe there is hope for us. And then other days, you're going to be ready to slash some tires and ready to cuss some folks out and find that and track her down, and then ready to wear him out when you see him, and vice versa, because it's not just women who are betrayed, right? It's not just women who are cheated on. You're going to have those ups and downs. Count on it. Know that it's coming, and you need to have a way to be able to deal with that. And again, that goes back to having a support system, right? Someone, some group of people, some teaching, some program that can help you navigate through this, counseling, what have you. That's important. And so when we talk about the support system, hey, here's number 6. I'm not talking about your friends and them. I'm not talking about your family, your auntie, your mom and them. You don't need to be so quick to tell your friends and family. Let me say that again. You don't need to be so quick to do that. When you have balanced people who are reasonable people, who are relatively transparent, and they know that life consists of ups, downs, lefts, and rights, and it is not a straight arrow to success in a relationship or to any success in life, period, maybe you can count them in. But by and large, once you have decided, I'm going to stick this thing out, and I want to be with her, I want to stick with her, and once you have decided, I'm going to go and do some work, and I'm going to invest more time and energy into my relationship so that we can resolve this, and we can figure out what happened along the way, so that perhaps we can even build something greater than what we had before. Your mama and them is still mad at him. Your father is looking at her sideways, right? And they only have this picture of them. So you have to be really careful about who you share with. You have to protect your marriage. And even when it's feeling rocky, you have to be protective of that and make sure that you are careful and discerning about who you share with. Okay, so that was number 6. Number 7, and we have 8 total, y'all, so we're almost at the end here. Number 7, you won't forget. You won't forget, right? People say, hey, time will pass. It'll go away. Things will be better. Some folks will say, like, it's going to be fine. Maybe sometimes even the person who has betrayed you is saying, baby, that was yesterday. You know what? You won't forget. And guess what? You should not forget, because things that we forget, then we sometimes find ourselves repeating them. What do we know as people of color, African Americans? You better know your history or you will be doomed to repeat it. You better go back and fetch it, Sankofa. You better go back and look at where you came from, or else you might repeat it. So you shouldn't forget, okay? You will not forget. However, forgiveness is essential. You have to get to that place of forgiveness. And forgiveness is not about your partner. Forgiveness is not about them. Forgiveness is a gift that's meant for you. It is not meant for the unfaithful person. It is meant for you so that you can know that all is well, so that you can have peace within your mind and within your heart. Because when we are resentful, when we are angry, when we are hurt, and we are holding grudges, and we have so much venom inside of us because of something someone did to us, we give them so much power that we almost say to the universe, I don't have the power to heal. I don't have the power to be well. I don't have the power to be whole because of this person. And that is just not true. You do have the power to do that, but you shouldn't forget. You should not forget, but you must forgive. Let me say this last, certainly not least, number 8, you have to get help. When you find yourself in a situation where you have been cheated on, where you have start questioning everything that you had, and you have so much anger, and perhaps you have a spouse who is saying, I'm willing to do anything and everything that I can to make this work. Perhaps you have a spouse who says, I told you I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And for real, you've been insecure, and like, it's not that serious because I'm with you now. I'm totally focused on you. It runs the gamut, folks who are kind of like, what? Right? They're like, what? I mean, come on, I'm not there. I'm not doing that no more. Right? Or I never did it. They're not even trying to fully admit it. You got a spouse like that, or you got the one who's like, baby, baby, baby. Whatever, right? Whatever it is, right? It is rough when you've been cheated on. You don't even know where to begin. You're feeling one way one day, and the next day you're feeling completely different, like I said before. And so you need to have a space and place to go and process this particular time in your life. You have to remember that this is just a space and time, that this is just a particular journey you're on. And I guarantee you that if you put forth the effort and the energy, and your spouse is doing the same, you actually can have a better relationship than you ever had before. I'm telling you what I know. So you can go to another level, but you have to have a guide. You have to know where to begin. You have to know what the parameters and the rules and the processes should be. And oftentimes people just kind of sweep things under the rug, right? Or they keep people on the hook forever and ever and ever. And there has to be a balance, and there is a process to do that. So you must get help. And that is above and beyond your mama and them. I told you about that. All right, guys, I hope that this has been helpful to you. I'm going to continue to focus on this area and this issue because this is coming up as a big need for our community. And so we want to give you what you say you want. So I hope that this has been of help. Getting tongue-tied. Thank you, guys. Remember, you can't take any of these things to heart. You cannot do anything that you need to do if you're not willing to what? Stop playing and start pushing.